Happy weekend, YouTube! If I post it Sunday night, maybe I won't post it until Monday morning. I don't know. But either way, I'm filming this on the Sunday of the weekend before Halloween. And we are up for another Autobot mini bot today, or mini con, whatever you want to call him. This guy, very similar to the last two guys I've done in Pipes and Swerve, wasn't introduced until the third season when the Transformers cartoon was winding down, and was based on a previous mold from one of the original Autobot minicons. And without further ado, let's welcome to the fray Mr. Outback. Outback was based on the original mold for Brawn, who was one of the original Autobots on the Ark. He turned into a green like SUV truck kind of thing, and that's exactly the same thing as what Outback does. He turns into like a tan, beige kind of SUV that's like suited to like be camo in the desert, that kind of thing. And you can tell by his name Outback that he is one who enjoys being in the wilderness, in the outback, right? That's kind of his thing. He likes being out in the wild areas. He's used as like a scout, and those sorts of missions. But he's very well known for, they call him insubordinate in a way, but he's a very courageous Autobot, but he's not one for the rules of command. He will do what he thinks needs to be done, no matter the consequences, and this doesn't always endear him with his fellow Autobots, as he's a bit of a loose cannon, but he's also very effective. So it's kind of one of those good things, bad things, take him for what he is kind of Autobots, right? So he was introduced in the very first episode of season 3, and he got a little bit more screen time, I feel, than Pipes and Swerve did, but not that much more. So he was one of those late series ads that you really didn't get to know all that well, like you did all of the original Transformers. I could talk on and on about all those main characters just off the top of my head, whereas some of these guys I had to look up, like, what's the personality like, because I just don't remember them being featured in the show that much, right? So Outback, I think, got a little bit more coverage than the other two we've done recently, but not by much. So I'm going to show you a clip right now from that very first episode he was in, the very first episode of season 3, called The Five Faces of Darkness Part 1, as he and Blaster go on a bit of a Decepticon hunt. Here it comes.
Don't lose your cool, Abdul. This is Blaster blasting at you from the Earth Defense Command. EDC for short, flying carpet. Now we aren't looking to make no trouble. We're trying to find Decepticreeps and bust their bubble.
I would harbor no such criminals, and I give you my word of honor.
We sure trust you, and that's no lies. But these Decepticons have a good disguise.
He is irrational. How am I to debate with fanaticism?
How are we going to find the Decepticons? It's like a needle in a haystack.
Not with my trusty Decepticon detector.
No such thing.
You know that, and I know that, but I assure you, there are no Decepticons in my country. Let's see if the Decepticon detector knows something that you don't.
Somebody must have squealed on us. Death comes to he who crosses me. Yeah, well, death comes to us if we don't thrust out of here and get to charm. quick snappy, cause my buddy here is trigger happy.
Where is Char? Coordinates 90B Mark 8.
Our charts don't show any planets in that sector. No, wait, here it is. I thought it was a smudge in the screen.
Yeah, that fits the description of Char.
Good enough. Rodimus Prime over and out.
So there you get a sense of kind of Outback's personality. Maybe not a full shot of what exactly he's like, but as you can also see, his name Outback, he kind of has that Australian ring to it. He has the Australian accent, so he's very much played up as the kind of Australian wilderness guy. He's like the Steve Irwin of the Transformers team, right? So anyways, let's have a look at his G1 toy right now, and you can have a look what he looked like way back in the day in the mid-'80s. Yeah, so his original mold was the exact same as Bronze. All he was a different color, and then there was some minor detailing, like the heads, the faces were very different between the two characters, as well as some of the little detailing on the bodies and stuff like that. But essentially, exact same mold, just tweaked a little bit to introduce a new money-making character. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna get Outback out of his box, see what he looks like in whatever mode he's in, and then we'll get him transformed so we can see him in both modes. You know the process. So let's get him out, see what he looks like, shall we? Now, last week, or yeah, maybe last week, whenever I did my last video anyways, I mentioned that Outback's reveal is a little bit special for a certain reason. And the reason this one's special is that because this is the first ever character from Fans Toys that I've bought. Purchased? Let's just go with purchase. Fans Toys characters I've found over the years, I've always noticed them, and they look pretty good, but they're always inordinately more expensive than all of the other options. It's crazy how much money the Fans Toys robots can be. So recently I've seen some other characters that have really come down in price a lot. Most of them I already have a different version of, but for Outback, I was able to find this Fans Toys version of him for a really good price. So he is the first Fans Toys character in my collection. So I can't wait to see what their robots look like, transform like, because based on how much money they seem to be, like I'm expecting something extra out of these, I guess, compared to the other ones, or maybe not, and they're just more expensive for shits and giggles. I don't know, but I can't wait to find out. So, Fans Toys looks like it's pretty standard, like the other ones. They have a bag I can't get into. What the shit? Pretty good size instruction booklet for a smaller character, so that's a little worrisome. There it is, instructions. As with all the other companies, a card. And now we'll get into the toy itself. All right, so here's the big, I think this is actually Megatron's cannon. When they steal it in one episode or something like that, if I remember correctly. Looks like he's got an extra face here or something. Yep. He's got one where he's kind of smiling, laughing, whatever. Then he's also got his own blaster, which he can hold in his hand, or it goes on the top of his roof when he's in truck mode. And now we have Outback himself in robot mode. Looks like his legs are backwards or something. It's just kind of weird. But I guess he's kind of in robot mode. We'll sort it out. Oh, Jesus, he fell over and his head popped off. That's a good sign, isn't it? So, Outback is in the hizzy. What do I think of Outback, you say? He's a pretty solid character. A lot of metal, so he's got some good heft to him for a smaller guy. The wheels, genuine Goodyear rubber. I'm just kidding. It is rubber, but I don't know if it's Goodyear. And his likeness is pretty good. That's pretty much exactly what he looks like in the cartoon. So overall, a really good figure. The transformation, as you can see in the pictures, I got his Jeep pretty much done, but I couldn't bring the top half of the vehicle to sit on the bottom half and get it to tuck in like it was supposed to. It sat up a little bit. There was something not right about trying to get that in and compact it all together. There was something off, and I couldn't quite figure it out. And I didn't want to push it, so I just kind of gave up and took the pictures as is. So, but you can get the gist from the pictures of what his vehicle mode looks like. And overall, a very solid figure. Now, I don't really have any complaints about it, but the whole Fans Toys thing, let's talk about that. Is this figure that much better than what I would say an X-Transbots or Takara Tomy or Bad Cube would have made for the same figure? No. This has made me realize that Fans Toys are maybe just overpriced for no reason. Maybe the characters I looked at were all older and harder to find or something. I don't know. But it was good to get a nice cheap Fans Toys figure so that I could get a look at one and realize that, okay, are Fans Toys just way better made toys than the others and that's why they're so expensive? Or is it just a weird thing that they're that much more expensive? And that's all it is, in my opinion, is a weird thing. So this character isn't any better than any of the other brands I've opened up and played with. So the whole Fans Toys expensive vibe that they have, based on this, I'm going to say it's not worth it. So if I find other Fans Toys figures for similar pricing to the other brands, I may entertain more Fans Toys toys in the future, but I'm not going to overpay for them based on what I've found with this guy. Great figure, but would not pay more for a Fans Toys version than any of the other versions. Let's just say that. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed Outback. Next week we have... Which direction am I going next week? I think we're gonna have somebody that made their debut, like a lot of the characters I have done, in the Transformers movie from 1986. And that's all I'm gonna tell you for now. So until I'm able to get the next guy opened up and out of the package and into your viewership, have a great week.
Meow.